See, there are two broad themes that are emerging in hyperautomation. Interestingly, both of them started before the pandemic, but the pandemic actually accelerated the the pace at which these changes are happening. One relates to what I call as digitization. In other words, if you look at how the way we work today, it's transformed significantly. We all work very remotely. We are all connected virtually. A lot of paperwork is now digitized. Okay, so there's an enormous digital content that is being generated. Okay, this in the last 3 years it has just accelerated. Very, very, very high, and the technology is also catching up. Basically, you can scan documents, you can extract information from documents. Systems can make sense of the documents. Okay, so as a consequence of all this, what is happening is, it's like this. Imagine you are running a car on an automobile, okay, and you are used to running it on a dirt road. Okay, you're running an old car and a very less powered car on a dirt road. Okay, now what has happened is you've laid a very strong tar road, very broad road. Okay, so that is what is, imagine that to be your digitization. But that's not going to give you 100% efficiency. What you need is, you need a powerful car. Okay, in other words, the higher level of abstraction, the automation needs to reach at the next level, which is where the process automation actually comes into picture. So with the underlying content being digital, there's a huge opportunity for process automation to kick in. Okay, so that's one of the big waves driving hyper automation. So anywhere you see digital content, the underlying processes have an opportunity to, you have an opportunity to kind of reprocess it in a fundamentally different way. Okay, so the old mechanisms will have to go away. So that's creating a huge hyper automation wave. The second transformation that is happening, what we call as a digital transformation, relates to work getting shifted from back office towards a self-service. When you look at how things are done today, 3 years, 4 years back, say you are doing a airline check-in, you had to go to the airport to do a check-in. Today, you're doing it by yourself. Medical tests, you can upload your documents online. To get your licenses, you can apply it online in government portal, etc. So there's a humongous shift globally where governments and organizations have realized that it's no longer necessary to get work in the back office, but primarily move it into a self-serve model. Okay, so this is again the self-serve model. What we call as B2B2C is another big wave, which is actually part of hyper-automation. So these are two big trends, that fundamentally shifts the way people are going to work. And there are hyper-automation technologies such as OCR, document AI, low-code platforms, which are RPA, which are changing the way we look at automation in general. See, the premise again is, there's a lot of hype about bots replacing humans and AI replacing human jobs, etc. What we've realized is that's simply not going to happen. Okay, the state of the art that we are in today is simply not amenable to complete automation. In fact, there was an article by New York Times which said, bots needs human more than humans need bots. Okay, what we are seeing here is, for things like machine learning and training, we need human touch. It's data scientists who will sit alongside the AML algorithm or the bots to actually run the train the whole system together. Or in the case of certain automation, when there is a failure, humans will have to chip in, will have to complete the work. So there's a beautiful collaboration happening between humans and these so-called bots. And I think future organizations which basically take care of this kind of human to bot orchestration and bot to human collaboration are the ones that are going to be successful. Those who are aiming to replace humans, they are not going to be successful. Not only because the technology is not there, it is also because humans fundamentally are very, very agile. We can, when there is a new change to the process, we can adapt to it much more fast, much more quickly. And for governance reasons, you always want to have a human oversight. You don't want to delegate all of the jobs to a human. So future generation, you're going to see a lot of work where a bot or AI algorithm will do a lot of these mundane tasks, but you need human oversight to do it. Grammarly is a great example. Grammarly does not write articles for you, does not replace an author. What it does, it helps an author with better English and better language proposition. And you're going to see more and more systems actually like Grammarly come up in the future. And I think we have a fantastic opportunity. Every worker is going to be an enabled worker, okay, because of these bots and AI algorithms. So you'll have it's like you're going to have more powerful calculator, more powerful weapons for you to execute your job and work stream in a more positive way. So we believe in augmentation, not replacement. Yeah, why is empathy first required, right? I mean, especially in an automation world, where does empathy even come in? Again, I go back to the same statement about why humans will have to be in the loop, right? We are not talking about a world where bots will run amok replacing humans. Excuse me. We are talking about a world where humans and bots actually orchestrate together and complete a particular task. Now, why do we need empathy? Where does empathy come into picture? Fundamentally, what is happening is with automation, you're only taking away a part of your operations. Let me give you an example with a loan processing. Let us say a consumer is actually approaching for a loan, okay, gone to a bank, made an application for a loan. Old times, what is going to happen is the loan officer will evaluate the loan, and let's say the person does not qualify, okay, basically the officer has a relationship with the consumer, and the officer will say, look, for so and so reasons you do not qualify for it. Now imagine in a AI world, you have replaced the loan officer, the relationship officer, with a bot, right? What will the bot do? It will just reject the application, and the applicant will be left to wonder why he or she got rejected. You're not building relationship in such a situation. You're not really solving the customer relationship problem, right? And so what is required here is an empathy. If you need to counsel the person, you need to give them tips about how to make themselves eligible, or maybe apply in another company or another environment, or do something alternative. So these kind of counseling can only come from human interaction. And as more and more automation is required, we are all left to wonder, it's very difficult to reach customer service, right? And yet any company that takes care of customer service will be rewarded. It is not automation which is going to reward them. Automation can save costs, but in order to keep the customer relationship, you have to have this empathy-led interactions. Same with doctors. There's already talk about how AI algorithms can actually detect patients diseases as effective as doctors can do, right? But these algorithms cannot provide empathy. If somebody is suffering from cancer, it is the doctor who has to talk empathetically, right? And I think the world in future is going to require more psychologists. I keep saying this, I've told this in other areas. We are going to see more artists, we are going to see more psychologists, we are going to see more and more of soft skill people who will be in demand, while automation takes care of some portion of the activity. So by blending all of this together is when you're going to achieve a complete hyper automation and a complete success.